Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Connect podcast on sales compensation and performance management for life sciences industry. I'm Pulkit Agarwal, co-founder and CEO of Connect. Connect is a sales compensation solution designed for enterprises, which helps them harness the power of sales incentives to drive performance. Today, we'll hear from a very special guest and a sales operations leader, Tim Schell, who's joining us today from California and has years of experience in various roles in medical device industry as part of sales operations function. As part of his 2-decade-long career, he has overseen and led development of sales compensation programs, systems, and teams for multiple organizations. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the Connect podcast. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me this morning. Very glad to be here.
Great, Tim. Same here. Really excited about the session and learn from you. So we'll talk about your journey as we go along, your journey in various roles, from sales to sales operations. What are some of the challenges that you face? And we'll also want you to highlight for our listeners what are some of the things that they can expect in a sales operations role. So let's start with your educational background. You have a degree in exercise physiology, right? So what made you decide to pursue a career in sales?
Yeah, correct. My degree is in exercise physiology. I was working in the hospital environment, and eventually I started working for one of the medical device companies because I used the products within the hospital. Became very good at doing that. Some salespeople got wind of my abilities to help them. Before I knew it, I was out in the field helping the sales reps with their sales calls, and then I became a sales rep. And, enjoyed that for a little while, but needed to quit traveling some, came in the inside and started working in sales operations and all the back office functions. And over the years have been able to work in pretty much all areas of sales operations, from your analyst and doing RFPs and quotes and contracts to, director level of sales operations, overseeing all the dashboards, reporting, and most of the time the incentive compensation program and all the aspects that go with designing, implementing, and administering the comp plans. So kind of a different path, but something that worked out for me.
Oh, great, Tim. I mean, that's really interesting. So what are some of the challenges that you faced while working in a sales operations role, right? And what are the things that you found the most exciting?
So for me, the most exciting part was the team and developing the team and working together. There are so many different aspects to sales operations, and the key is to finding team members that kind of have a little bit of strength in the different areas so that you can feed and learn off each other. One of the challenges in sales operations for me always seems to be the systems you're working with and the data that those systems are producing. And, you'll spend a great deal of time trying to pick the correct system to meet all the functionality that your department needs to do, looking at the data, scrubbing the data, making sure the data is correct. In particular with sales compensation, you don't ever want to use incorrect data because then you're not going to be paying accurately. And, you will upset some folks if you're not doing your job correctly in this area. So systems is always the big one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very crucial because you're always enabling the revenue function and people who bring in money. I mean, it's very important to give them the right data, right? And I believe sales incentive is one area where people are it's a very sensitive topic, right? You cannot go wrong with sales compensation. So yeah, I completely understand some of the challenges that you would have faced in your career. So Tim, basically you've always from an analyst to a manager. Now, lastly, you were director in a very large medical devices company. What is your secret mantra to progress in a sales operations role? I mean, if you could share with our listeners some of the key things that they should be doing right in their careers to continuously develop themselves in this role.
Yeah. Back in the early days, the key for me is you can't sit around and wait for an opportunity. You kind of need to create your own. And I remember department heads coming up with projects and things they needed help with. And, more than not was something that I knew nothing about, but I always volunteered. Right. And I always, wanted to go and learn more. And by doing that, you learn You learn more about the business. You learn more about other departments and what they do. You may be introduced to a new system or process, and you constantly grow your skills and expand your box, so to speak, to, I guess use a quote here, not too big, hopefully not too big of a cliche, but, you just always improve upon yourself, and it made you more visible when those opportunities and promotions did come up, that your name would go into the ring as far as a possible candidate. And, it's just something I always enjoy doing. You always want to learn more and do more, and I still continue to want to do that.
Right.
Technology is evolving very quickly. There's lots of new systems and processes out there, and if you're not constantly evaluating and looking at new systems and ways to do things, you're falling behind.
Really? I mean, so you've spent so many years in medical device industry, right? How do you think about the pace of companies adopting technologies, especially as sales enablement systems, right? Have they been like laggards? We generally hear that pharma, life sciences, medical companies generally are probably the later ones to adopt any technology. Is that something that you have seen, or has that changed over the last 10 years?
So there's, from a company perspective, I can't really speak. I don't know, other industries. I know it was a little bit, but I think companies now are going much more the more elaborate SPM systems when it comes to sales operations. You had a lot of teams in the past using just Excel for compensation or Excel for dashboards, and then you got Salesforce and other systems in there where they started turning reports and dashboards. But they're looking for systems that speak and talk, because you're getting so many different data sets from so many different inputs right now into some of these companies, that you need something that can handle everything and reach out and touch everything to kind of help you consolidate the data. And then on the industry side, there's so much consolidation and technology working in the medical device world. Hospitals and hospital systems are consolidating. The products that you're selling them now all talk. You're not selling a box. You're not selling a product. You're selling a solution, an enterprise solution that talks and works throughout the hospital and hospital systems. So it's gotten much more elaborate. So to have fewer systems do more for you, right, has really kind of accelerated, over the past, I'd say 10 years.
Right. So you must have worked with various SPM solutions, right, in your career. So what were some of the challenges you faced while adopting these solutions? Did you have to put a lot of effort in convincing management about the ROI that you will generate from these systems, especially the sales compensation systems, right? Because that could be a tricky one to sort of explain to the management the benefits of the same.
That's a real big one. Getting the management to buy into the system and support you in doing that is definitely a challenge, because they don't see the value in that. All they see is the expense. So you really have to, have your act together and do a normal business proposal and put the pros and cons and the costs in there. If you're doing sales compensation and you're not using a system, chances are you've probably made some errors along the way. So to point out those errors and the possibilities of that happening in the future versus spending the money and getting a system in there that will catch those errors and eliminate those errors is really quite huge. And you need to point that out, as well as you need to. I like to evaluate in the 2 times that I've implemented a program or a system there. I evaluate multiple systems. You truly don't know what one may meet your needs. So to get different companies' viewpoints, vantage points, pricing, and see how it all works out for what your vision is of your department and needs going forward is very important as well. Right. So again, a very tight business proposal, an evaluation of 2 to 3 at least companies. As you put this together, I think is very important for anyone that's going to senior management with a proposal and a request to implement a new system.
Right. So what are some of the key questions that one should be ready with, right, when putting a proposal across? I mean, one is definitely the justification of the ROI. Do you have anything specific that one should be anticipating to answer when putting a proposal across? So
the 2 big things that come across to me were implementation costs. How are you going to implement this, and how much time is it going to take? How are you going to introduce the Salesforce to this? Because any type of change is usually met with quite a big resistance.
Right.
So you need to incorporate change management into this whole process. You need to talk to your department and how to improve the efficiency and flow and productivity of your staff. So, if you're struggling to get things done, and all you're doing is able to meet compensation needs, make the business case for this will allow us to get into maybe more predictive analytics and the what if scenarios and the suggestions to the sales leadership versus just the expectations of meeting a payroll. So having that time to do a little bit more evaluation on what may be best for the business is huge. So if you can talk to that and show how you can be a trusted advisor to the executive team, that'll go a long way in your ability to get this through.
Right. So, you're obviously a supporter of having an SPM or an incentive, a sales compensation system, right? Having worked on these systems, would you ever work on a spreadsheet? Or would you have your team always work on an SPM solution?
I've been doing this a while, so the spreadsheet to me has always been my friend.
Yeah.
But what it's become for me though is more of a secondary source, or if I'm not comfortable with something, a back check system versus a primary system. SPM systems offer you so much more as far as being able to take data and manipulate it and do the reports and dashboards and spread the information across your network versus, an Excel spreadsheet where you or two or three people are trying to work on that. So it'll never leave me because I'm old school, but it's definitely plays a minor role compared to what it used to be.
Right. So just one more thing, Tim, before we take your coordinates and wrap this. So how do you think salespeople would benefit from a system like this, right? Of course, sales operations team hugely reduce their manual work. From a sales team perspective, right, from a VP sales or even a medical rep or an account manager, what are some of the benefits that they should expect when the companies adopt the sales compensation solution? Because you did mention that you have to account for change management, right? And especially when you are rolling it out for the field force. So what are the things that one, as a person who's into the sales role, should expect from an SPM solution?
That's a great point, and one I perhaps even could have covered when you talked about how to prepare your system presentation to leadership. One of the things that you hopefully you can do is improve the efficiency of the sales force. All this is about improving the efficiency and competence of the sales force. So if you can provide a way for the sales team to get more time in front of the customer versus checking their data and looking at their reports and trusting the data, that's going to be huge. And oftentimes with these systems, it's now an app on their phone. So they look at the app on the phone, they can see what they've been paid, how they've been paid, they can see the data. They're not spending an hour or two or three trying to figure out how they're going to get paid. And that's huge because that's time they can spend working with the customers or doing other things in their sales profile rather than worrying about their numbers and data. So that's something you have to message to the sales force in the rollout. That's something that you can message to the leadership in your presentation as far as benefits. And overall, it takes a little bit because it's that change curve. But, once you get there, the sales force generally love it because it makes things simpler for them in their daily lives.
Right. So great, Tim. It was really insightful to hear you talk about your experience, your journey from a sales person into a sales operations role. Our listeners would like to know where to reach out to you in case they have any specific questions with respect to the entire process. So can you help us with ways of reaching you?
Yeah, I would love to talk to anybody who has any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. The best way is probably through LinkedIn. So if you go to my profile, it's Tim-Schell, Tim Schell with a hyphen, and reach out to me, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that I can.
Great, Tim. Thank you so much for being here. It was really a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you as well. Enjoyed it and appreciate your